I'm gonna tell it to you straight. I always do. That thing that you said you were never going to do again, or you're good on it, or you're trying to walk away from it, whether it be a bad habit, whether it be something that you just find yourself doing constantly and you're tired of doing it. I hate to break it to you, but you might find yourself facing it yet again very soon. Yeah, so planet Neptune is retrograde in Aries. And it's a pretty big deal because it's a time for us to face some shit. It's a time for us to be like, oh, okay, I said I wasn't messing with that thing again, that person, that area again. But now I find myself having to go back to that area, having to actually be around people that do X, Y, and Z thing, whether it be drinking, drugs, whatever the case may be. You may find yourself around it again. And I am that realist that's going to tell you straight up, a lot of times we are meant to walk away from something and revisit it because we need to see something. You know what I'm saying? And revisiting something doesn't mean you have to do it, okay? Just because people around you are doing it doesn't mean you have to do it. It doesn't mean you have to indulge. But maybe that opportunity comes with someone that drinks, comes with someone that, you know, is a little toxic, and you're like, I'm done with the toxic game. She always got to find a way to get in the camera. Oh my gosh. You know, but like, there's just things that you have to face. And Neptune's like, all right, run it back. Let me see where you're at. If you're really ready to level up, I have to see where you're at. Oh my gosh, look at her. Okay, well, now that my cat Spotty is introducing herself, I might as well introduce myself. So my name is Davielle Pierrette. Welcome back to my channel. I appreciate you being here. Intuitive astrologer and consultant here, ready to just dive in, but we're gonna keep key. We're gonna do it cutesy. You know what I mean? I have fun when I talk about astrology. And yeah, this one's a good one. From July 7th until December, I believe, 5th. Yeah. Neptune's like, run it back. Because retrograde means run it back. Every time you hear retrograde in Mercury, retrograde in Mars, retrograde, whatever retrograde, it means run it back. Let's try this again. Take a moment to think this through. Take a moment to see where you actually stand on this issue, right? And so that's why I'm saying, yeah, there's some things you walked away from that you kind of have to revisit. Because guess what? Neptune is the planet of illusions. It's the planet of excitement and dreamy energy. It's like, whoa, what can I do? How far can I go with this thing? When has entered the chat, there's emotions involved. Think about it. When you have a dream, there's passion towards that dream. It's like, oh my gosh, like the day I get to X, Y, and Z, that's going to be amazing. Or when there's illusion, it's passionate about fears. It's the worst case scenario comes to our head constantly. We get emotional about certain things that we're scared of or that we're nervous about, right? Then the other tier, I always talk about Neptune in 3 phases, and Neptune and Pisces energy are similar to each other, okay? In 12th house, all similar, but it's all within the subconscious mind. So we can dive into dreamy energy, we could dive into illusions and paint these pictures in our mind, or we can disengage. Okay, we can be avoidant. We can just really mute ourselves, numb ourselves. And what better way to numb ourselves than to dive into bad habits, to dive into things that we know ain't right for us, right? And so maybe you're not into substances, but you overeat, you know? And so within the next couple of months, so now until the end of the year, basically, so July until December, you may find that all of a sudden you invited to a bunch of buffets. You're invited to all of these buffets, and it has to do with the thing that you're really passionate about. So you're like, this is in alignment, but I already said that I'm not gonna overconsume food, but I find myself being invited for free to all of these events that have so much food. And Neptune's like, yeah, you don't have to overeat though, right? You can stand on your word and still be around lots of food. You don't have to deprive yourself from the thing that you know. And I'm like nervous saying this because it doesn't mean dive into something that you know isn't right for you. It just means we can't hide. We can't hide, right? You can say that you will never do this thing again, and yet you're on the train and the person next to you is doing that thing, right? And so now you're consumed. It's a time to test how confident you are in your decisions, how confident you are in yourself, in your inner knowing, in your body. Your body's talking to you, telling you, this thing isn't good. Meanwhile, all 15 people around you are doing it. You know what I mean? Like I said, we'll go back to that example of the buffet. So now you're at this event and you need to understand that 2 plates is max for you. Wait, what? But it's a buffet. How can I do that? Exactly. It's meant to help you see clearly what decisions align and what doesn't. It's challenging because our emotions can get the best of us. it's like frustrating. It can feel frustrating, or it can feel like overwhelming, or it can feel easy to some of us. Maybe it's like, oh, no problem, right? And so this retrograde will be a breeze for you. It just depends on what your kryptonite is, what your thing is. If it's people pleasing and you have this ex that want to run it back, maybe there's this dreamy energy of like, oh my gosh, maybe we can be the best of friends. But in reality, you understand very clearly that I don't think so. I gotta keep this person at arm's length. Meanwhile, you're forced to work with this person, or you're forced to partner with this person. You keep bumping into this person. It's not this thing where you need to run and never see this person again. It means your boundaries. And that's where Neptune retrograde in Aries comes in. Aries is a sign of like confidence, of inner knowing, because you just know yourself so deeply, so passionately. Aries don't play about Aries. It's the sign that starts off all 12 zodiac signs because it sets you up to really tap into your inner knowing, really tap into what you believe is right for you. So now your body is talking to you when you're putting on, for example, I don't know, this product on your body. Neptune retrograde in Aries is going to be like, all right, I'm going to show you how this product isn't working for you. So are you able to detach from it, right? Like, for example, there was, I used to put fake lashes on all the time, and I was so good at it at one point. But then there came a time and era where my divine team, yes, I'm a very spiritual person, so I do talk in divine team, God, creator of the universe, all the above. I would be so annoyed because my lashes wouldn't stick anymore. And there's nothing new with my body. I wasn't putting oils. There was nothing new. But there was something that was telling me this just doesn't align with me anymore. The glue on my eyes are watering like crazy. Mind you, for like years, I was doing it perfectly fine. But all of a sudden, every time I put my lash, it won't stick. All of a sudden, the lash trying to flop off, and I'm about to go out, and I'm getting pissed. Mind you, my foundation is on. Oh, I used to beat this face, okay? I have to put makeup on when I go out. And it was just this thing where my body was just like, no, you don't need that glue in your eyes anymore. And it was like, wait, huh? What do you mean? I've been doing this for years. Yeah, Neptune retrograde in Aries is like, I'm going to have you experience certain things because I need you to wake up to your truth. I need you to wake up and challenge what you think is your truth. So now you're getting ready to go out and you have to be like, no, I'm good. I look good. I look confident. Or you have no makeup and everyone else does. Or for men and, people that don't wear makeup, it's like this thing where you don't have a haircut, but you're gonna, whatever the case may be, can you stand in your truth? Neptune's like, all right, bet, let me test you. It's just meant to help us open up to a world that isn't perfect, that isn't going to align with everything we believe or deem isn't right for us. Can we still maneuver? Can we still have fun and experience? If you're like, I'm done with alcohol, but yet this event is filled with alcohol drinkers, are you going to judge them harshly even though you used to drink? Or are you going to be like, I'm good with my pineapple juice. I love a good pineapple juice. Okay, I don't even drink anymore too. So hey, let's hang out. Are you gonna seek out people that don't drink but still talk to the people that drink and still maneuver? Yeah. Neptune's like, all right, let's go. Right? You're gonna see that old person. You're gonna see certain things that you claim you do not align with because you need to learn how to live in alignment around it. You need to learn to be able to see the opportunity in the inconvenience, right? And to say no. Right? That old thing, that old fling comes back. You don't want to do no friends with benefits stuff. You need to set your boundaries and you need to hold true to it. You need to make sure that you're speaking up for yourself. Aries is like, say what you gotta say. Who's gonna advocate for you if you don't advocate for you? I'll wait. And Neptune's like, I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna actually put you in the situation to see what the heck you do, right? And so there's a lot of relapse that can happen. There's a lot of like diving into things because you feel like you have to, because you feel like maybe the universe is telling you to go back. Yeah, it's telling you to go back to do it right. It's telling you to go back because it wants to show you your strength. And so this is a time to power up, to see how truly strong you are and how far you've come. And maybe you just made this decision 2 months ago, so you're like, it's too soon, I can't handle it. Neptune's like, I don't give you anything you can't handle, okay? Maybe you're a gamer and you stay up all night gaming, but yet you have this new opportunity where you have to be up early, and so you can't really do that, right? And so now you're gonna meet this crew of people that are gamers, and it's so cool, but yet you still have to stand strong and not sleep so damn late and play all night. How do you figure out what's best for you? These next couple months are going to challenge us, and it's meant to show us our strength. I'm serious. Aries energy is just waiting to help us see what's in our way. That's the other thing. It's going to carve out exactly where you still need work, okay? where you still kind of slip into things that you said you weren't going to do. And Aries is a very fiery energy. That's where our passions, that's where, even sexual drive comes in. It's gonna poke at like, okay, this person wants to do a little thing with you. Oh, well, it's not sex if we're doing X, Y, and Z. Yes, it's a grown folks channel, okay? You understand that you shouldn't go there. So don't do it, right? Or maybe do it because that is your truth. Hey, look, I don't judge. It's not my business. It's not my business what you do. But Neptune all up in that business. Neptune in Aries is all up in that business right now. And so just be very mindful of where you're adding to your illusions because you believe that, well, I made this decision, but I keep being bought in this situation. So obviously I'm way better. It's like, no, be honest with yourself. Be vulnerable with yourself and say, I'm not there yet, but I am going to go to this event and I am going to be vulnerable and say to everybody, I can only stick to juice, or I can only stick to this thing, or I'm going to leave early and not involve myself in things that I know when let out happens. You know what I mean? Drink or not, I'm with the shots. You know what I mean? Like whatever the case may be. So wherever Aries is in your chart, get to know that area and understand that Neptune's going to poke at it. Neptune's like, okay, and where Neptune is in your chart too, those two areas are going to absolutely be hit because it's like in those areas, how confident are you? How confident do you stand in your truth? Even if it's working, you're overworking all the time. Now you're going to have opportunities to really overwork. Can you balance out your life, work-life balance? You have your wife, your husband, your kids at home, and you need to actually find time. But there's this big opportunity that came in. There's a big raise, or you work for yourself. So there's this huge thing that came in. How can you balance your time and say yes and no to that client? Say yes and no to that business opportunity in a way that works. Maybe the business opportunity is asking you to go outside of yourself and you're like, look, this is what I can provide. So it's not a full hard stop no, but your boundaries are clear. Get your boundaries in order. But your illusions / fears and your dreamy energy of like, wow, no big deal, can try to get in the way. Do not avoid what it is that you're feeling. Face it head on. And a lot of times our kryptonites and the bad habits will come in to try to help us avoid these decisions. Neptune is like, run it back. Think twice, but you cannot run from it. Aries is going to face it head on. That's the part. If it was any other sign, I'd be like, all right, we'll talk about it. But Aries is like, we're going to face it. We don't run from a challenge. We're going to face it. And so that's what makes this placement tricky. But we got this. Okay, it's time for you to see how far you've come, even if you just made the decision. Know that you have the power and watch, declare that, and be vulnerable with yourself. After an event, just be like, that was really hard. Okay, I think I need a break from people that are drinking and smoking and all that because I don't think I'm strong enough. Be honest, be vulnerable. Yeah, that's needed too. That's important too. Run it back. Like I said, retrograde. Think twice, but don't run. Face the challenge and then edit. I always say that to my sisters and all that. Edit as you go, right? I feel compelled to tell you the story. I dated somebody for years, like I'm talking like 6 years on and off, and he smoked almost every single day. I never smoked with him. Mind you, I stayed with him on and off for 6 years, right? That was one of the biggest relationships of my life, and I could stand my ground and be like, nope, smoking isn't for me. He's smoking, he's in his car hot boxing, whatever the case may be, and I'm just like, okay. I stood on business that wasn't in alignment for me, but I'm not going to judge you harshly. Do you? Hey, but that's not my thing. And I could stand on that. Mind you, he had friends he was going to smoke with. He even had girlfriends that he had since childhood that he would hang out with. I'm not that type of girl. You have friends, hey, look, I'm not going to run your life. But that's not my thing. And I have to stand in my confidence. We made it work as best as we could until it didn't work, right? But the point is, I didn't lose me in the midst of dating somebody just because that was his hobby, his thing. I think that was a powerful time for me to see myself and be like, wow, I really stood strong in that. Whatever the thing is for you, just know that you have the power to overcome. You have the power to say no. You have the power to be around the thing and still choose you, choose your health, choose whatever it is that you believe for you. And even if you don't think you have the power, Neptune's going to put you in that situation to teach you, all right, here's where your power is slacking and lacking because you're not standing your ground and you're not in your confidence bag. So now Aries has to hype you up and give you the lessons that you need, right? And so it's not meant to reprimand you so harshly unless, of course, you are really going against yourself. That's the key. Neptune retrograde in Aries. It's like, where do you go against yourself? Where are your habits getting in the way of your goals. And I already recorded a video about how Neptune Aries is in that sign and placement for about 10 years. And so I already have a video. You can go back and look, okay? But this retrograde specifically, you're going to face some things. Just know yourself. Get to know yourself at least, right? And believe that you have autonomy over your life and over your decisions, but you can't control every little thing. So yes, you're gonna have to face these people, these things, these substances, these experiences. You are strong. You are capable, and you are allowed to live in your truth. Anyone that's like, well, you know, it's dangerous for people to X, Y, and Z and experience this, that, and the third. You could be walking past someone that's doing something that's a bad habit of yours. You have to be headstrong and understand that's not for me. That could tempt you, right? So life in general, that's what Neptune's trying to show you. Life in general is going to show you some things, but a lot of opportunities live in the areas that aren't good for us per se. But just because it's not good for us doesn't mean that we have to run and hide from it, right? I can go on for days. I want to keep talking, but let's stop here, okay? If you have any other questions about this placement, talk to me. Talk to your girl. Come on, talk to me, okay? I love talking about this, but let's end it here. Like, comment, share, subscribe, support your girl. I appreciate you so much for making it this far, and even if you don't subscribe, thank you for being here, but you should subscribe. Like, why not? You know what I mean? Why not? Support me, okay? But all right, I will hopefully see y'all on the next one, right? See you? Okay.